Hey, what's up? I'm Random431 and today we're going to be going over how to make a automated infusion altar in Mystical Agriculture using a modular router. So this is the entire setup here. I can request any seed, it will automatically craft every requested whatever the requested queue is, inserting one set at a time and putting the result back into the system. Kind of cool. So let me just say that when I looked on YouTube, I couldn't find any tutorial that has a setup for the infusion altar that automates it like this. The only ones I could find was like ones with pipes where you have to manually pipe everything into each pedestal and the altar, and it looked a bit messy. So I came up with this myself, and a few people have requested this tutorial, so now I'm making it. So first of all, if you haven't seen how it works, let me request 3 diamond seeds. Let me also request 3 steel seeds here. And as you'll see, when one craft finishes, it puts the next set of ingredients in this chest and automatically puts them onto the altar. So it will craft all of the requested seeds. Should be some more diamond seeds coming too. Yep, there we go. And place them back into the system. Now, I'm going to set up exactly what I've got here from scratch over here so you can follow along. I'm not going to do any boring shit like explain the recipes for the blocks that you need. I will tell you what blocks you need first before we place them down. You can look up the recipe in JAI if you need to do that. And I'm not even going to explain the how or why it works as I'm placing everything down. I'll do that at the end, so then for the group of viewers who don't care how it works and just want to copy it and have it work, they can do that. Just copy and that's it, have it working and click off. But for those that want to understand the why and how and all that stuff, I'll go through a little bit of an explanation at the end. So let me start placing everything down. So let's start with our actual altar. So let me get these, the main piece, the infusion altar. So we want to put that down. Everyone should know how to do that. Okay, so that one is all ready to go, and this is what we're going to be automating. Now let me go through, let me just put the lever down here. Supply it with a constant redstone signal, either by lever or you can put a redstone block underneath it, whatever your preferred choice is. Okay, so what other blocks are we going to need? We're going to need some means to connect it to your refined storage network. I'm using the wireless method. For that we need a network transmitter, network receiver, and a network card. We need a refined storage interface, a crafter. I'm using a netherite crafter for maximum speed. We need a modular router, and we need a chest. Any chest will do, even a basic one. Doesn't have to be upgraded. And then for the router, we're going to need some modules and upgrades. We need 4 of the puller module Mark IIs, 2 sender module Mark IIs, 2 distributor modules, 1 detector module, and for the upgrades we need 9 speed upgrades and 2 stack upgrades. On top of that, we also need some bulk item filters. These are bulk item filters. I've renamed them with an anvil, as you can see. Mystical Ag Essence, Mystical Ag Seeds 1, 2, and 3. But these are bulk item filters. This item here, just craft 4 of them. If you want to make sure that you can auto craft every single seed in the Mystical Agriculture mod. Let me show you what I mean. If I grab my 3 bulk item filters that have the Mystical Ag seeds in them, you'll see they contain every single seed in the Mystical Agriculture mod. All you do is to add seeds in here. You don't need to have them crafted. You just drag them across from the JEI like that and put them in. And if you want to clear, you just left click. So you don't necessarily need 3 filters if you're not planning to auto craft every seed. Just craft as many filters as you need to put all of your intended seed auto crafts in. Then for the final bulk item filter, put every single Mystical Agriculture essence inside. This will just make sure that that's also covered for any autocraft recipe you're going to do. Same thing, just look up the essences in JAI and drag them in. And that's it for everything that we need. Let's place it all down. So for starters, I'm going to start with connecting it to the refined storage system using a network receiver. We'll place that down here. Right click it with the network card, go to wherever our refined storage system is. Mine's in a compact machine. Place down a network transmitter and place the network card inside. That's that done. Go back to the altar and it's lit up and connected. Now we want to place a interface in front of that here, and next to the network receiver in front of this pedestal we want a chest, and then we want to get this netherite crafter and place it so it's facing the chest, not the altar. So place it from this direction. You want to see this like sort of arrow facing, this sort of red arrow needs to be facing the chest. If you right click on it, it should say whatever chest is here, it should have it here. Mine says like diamond chest. That means you've got it in the correct direction. Then you want the modular router and you want to place it from this direction so this red circle faces like this, exactly how I've got it here. Okay, so that's the basic setup for the actual blocks to place down in the world. Now we just have to do a lot of configuration with the different modules to place inside the router to actually get the automation working. So let's start with that. So for starters, we need a puller module Mark II. Now make sure you just take one, so we're not editing the whole stack here. We only want to configure one of them at a time. So you get one, hold it, right click in an empty space, it'll bring up the configuration GUI. And for this first puller module Mark II, we want to put our mystical agriculture essence filter in, the bulk item filter that we made with the essences. We want to set that to whitelist, and we want to then shift right click on the chest. That's it. Place that inside. Then we move on to our second module, which will be a distributor. For the distributor, we want to set it up pretty much the same as we set up the puller. Put the mystical agriculture essence filter in, set it to whitelist. But over here where it says distribution strategy, set that to random, because I mean, for some reason round robin doesn't work. At least it didn't for me. It would not put the ingredients on the pedestals. I tried random, it works, so set it to random. Make sure it's transfer out of router. Don't need to touch anything else for this. Then we take this and we shift right click on 4 pedestals in a square like that. Make sure it's like that. And then this goes in as the second module. The third module will be another puller module Mark II. And for this one, we only want to put a prosperity seed base inside. So look it up in the JAI and just drag it over here. We want to set this one to whitelist as well. And we want to shift right click on the chest. That goes in as the third module. The fourth module will be a sender module. So take one of your sender modules and we want to configure it the same almost that we just configured that one. So again, a prosperity seed base, whitelist, but this one we want to shift right click on the altar. And that goes in as the fourth module. Then for the fifth module, we want another puller module Mark II. And for this one, we want to configure it with every single filter. So we want the bulk item filter that contains your seeds, also the essence, and also the prosperity seed base. We want to set this one to blacklist, and we want to shift right click the chest. And that goes in as the fifth module. The sixth module will be another distributor. We want to set it up very much the same. We want every single filter inside it. So we want all the seeds, the essence, and the prosperity seed base. We want to set this one also to blacklist. Make sure this one's also on distribution strategy random and transfer out of router. And then we want to shift right click the remaining 4 pedestals like that. So the other distributor we did these 4 on this one, do it just like this. And then this goes in as the 6th module. Now for the 7th module, we want a puller Mark II, and for this we just want the seeds in as filters. So only the seeds. And we want to set this one to whitelist. And we want to shift right click the altar. And that goes in as number 7. Number 8 will be our detector module. Same thing, we want to configure this just with the seeds in the filter. Make sure it's set to week 15 in the down direction here. And we want to make sure this is also on whitelist. That goes in as number 9. Number 10 finally will be our last sender module Mark II. This one also will be configured with our mystical agriculture seeds. We want this on whitelist, and for this one we want to right click the interface, and that goes in as the final module number 9. And then we want our 9 speed upgrades, our 2 stack upgrades, which will allow it to process a maximum items of 4 per operation, as you can see there, which is the maximum that any of these modules are ever going to have to process. As you can see, the distributor modules process 4 items at a time since they're configured to 4 pedestals. So you don't need any more than 2 stack upgrades. Okay, so one last thing that's required, which I should have said when I placed it down, but for the netherite crafter, we want to make sure that crafter mode is set to redstone pulse inserts next set. That is important. The system won't work properly if that's not set to that mode. Then all we need to do is add the patterns into the netherite crafter for the seeds. So I'm just going to steal my patterns that I've got in here. I've only got diamond, steel, and coal seeds in here currently. That's fine. You just create whatever patterns you need for whatever seed. Place them in the netherite crafter. I'll quickly show, in case everyone should know how to make a processing pattern, but basically here is a processing pattern for coal seeds. 4 coal, 4 prudentium, 1 seed base. Processing ticked. Output coal seeds, and then you just make the pattern here. Place it into the netherite crafter, and then it's all set to go. So if we request diamond seeds now, it'll come to this. There we go. Steel seeds. 3 of those, and we can also do coal seeds as well. Okay, I did say at the start of the video that I would be also explaining the how and why this works for people that want to know. So, I mean, I'm not going to explain like the actual setup of the blocks. That's pretty self-explanatory. What the blocks do, all that. Whoa, my game just literally spazzed out and spun me around 1,000 miles. Yeah, okay. I'm just going to explain the working of the modular router for those that don't realize exactly how this thing is working. So basically the way modular routers work is it just goes from left to right processing whatever modules that it can. If it can't process one, it'll try the next one unless it's set up not to. But for this setup, nothing's prevented from continuing. It just continues through. So what it does, it goes through these. So it's going to pull this puller module Mark II is going to pull from the diamond chest. It's going to pull mystical agriculture essences. It's going to distribute them to 4 pedestals with this distributor module. So you can see mystical ag essence there. It's going to pull a prosperity seed base also out of the chest with this puller module. And then it will send that prosperity seed base to the infusion altar using the sender module Mark II. Then the puller module Mark II here is going to pull anything except, because this is blacklist, so it's going to pull anything except seeds, essence, or seed base. So basically what this does is it pulls the other 4 ingredients for the craft. So that's how that's set up. Then, so it pulls them out of the chest, and then this distributor distributes them to the other 4 pedestals. Then we have the puller module Mark II here, which is configured to pull any completed mystical agriculture seed from the infusion altar. Then what it does is it pulls it into this buffer here, and then we have the detector module, which is whitelisted to detect any mystical agriculture seed that enters this buffer. So the puller pulls it in, the detector sees it in the buffer, so it knows the craft's being completed. So once it sees it in the buffer, it pulses a redstone signal down to the crafter and lets the crafter know it can input the next lot of items, and then it sends the completed mystical agriculture seed with this sender module to the interface, which puts it back into the system. So that is the entire how and why this works the way it does. Anyway, that's the end of the video. Thanks for watching, and I hope it helped anyone that wanted to know how this works. Bye.